Shut up and sit down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Rebel Trading Group Podcast. Today's date is August 6, 2019. My name is Nathan Oliphant, and with me, as always, is the gluten-free Jason Bessing.
The gluten-free Jason Bessing. What's going on, Mr. Nathan?
Hello, everybody.
Happy Tuesday to you.
It's Tuesday, my dudes.
Tuesday, my dudes. All right, well, let's go ahead and just let's go ahead and jump into it. We've had a very volatile ride the past 48 hours.
Dive in.
Down 900 points yesterday and up 300 points today. So we have the Dow. So if I give you these numbers, it sounds all good and cheery, but if you were ignorant to yesterday, it's not all that
We're going to talk about
cheerful. That. But we have the Dow up 311 points, S&P up 37 points, NASDAQ up 107, gold slightly up to $3.20, and oil down 26 cents to 53.37. Bitcoin $11,482 at the moment, still sitting on a nice pop up. That's actually down $200 today. We got almost to 11.9 earlier. It was beautiful. So that's your current market out there. Like we said, it's been a fucking crazy ride.
I think we should talk about a metric that we don't really talk about often in the numbers, is the bond yield.
The bond yield, it's funny that you say that because I was thinking about that.
10-year in particular.
It's weird. To be honest, I'm not knowledgeable enough on that sector or that segment of the market on interest rate products and Fed funds rates and shit like that. So to be honest, I'm a little ignorant on it, and that's one of the reasons that I don't report it. I don't want to just talk out my ass. I do know that when interest rates slip for the day, that the treasuries go up, like the yields go down, so people are willing to pay more for it, and vice versa. When interest rates go up, the bonds actually go down. But at the end of the day, I don't really follow it enough to be able to regurgitate that. What about you? Do you think that's something you would be able to do?
Sure, I can tell you, the basics, I suppose. And if I'm incorrect, you can contact us at rebeltradinggroup@gmail.com. Excuse me, that's rebeltradinggroup@gmail.com. I feel like if we just posterize it throughout the whole episode, people will do it.
Eventually someone will get to us. Eventually, one of these times.
So, the way it works, I guess I'll talk a little bit, about price movement. I guess, a yield movement. The main one that a lot of people look at is the 10-year yield. And what that is the percentage of, is it yearly return? Or is it
it's expressed in yearly interest, but it goes over the course of 10 years.
Right. Yeah. So the bond pays what they used to call coupons. And they actually gave you coupons, like a little paper slip with little perforated coupons on the end of it. And you could turn those in for coupon bond payments or premiums. And then when it matured, you turn in your slip.
Collected your dividends.
Yeah, and you return at the end when it matured. You turned in your slip, and you got your what do you call it, premium, or your what do you call that, collateral?
Your dividend. It's a dividend.
Well, no, I'm talking about the original amount you put in.
Oh, your par value.
Mm-hmm.
So if you bought a $100 bond, then you collect 50 cents a year for 10 years, and then you go collect your $100
at the end of the day. Yeah, at the end of 10 years.
That's your par value. Par value. At the end of the day, you're hoping that it always returns to par, which it always will, as long as they can remain solvent.
Yeah. Right. Well, they mostly do.
Yeah. So if you lent the Ford Motor Company, if you purchased a bond from them, let's just say for $1,000, well, the value of that bond will change with the interest rates. It might go down to $9,200. Did I say $1,000 bond? So it might go down to $900. It also might spike up to $1,100. But if you were to just hold that bond till the day it expired, let's just say 5 years, you held it all 5 years, and you let that bond mature, it'll go back to your $1,000 original investment. So there is a market in buying bonds that have $1,000 par value, but you buy them for $900. There is a market in that.
Yeah.
But you're playing with junk bonds and companies, and you're basically just betting is the company will be able to keep the lights on till maturity date.
So the 10-year, we're talking about T-bonds. It's your treasury, or T-bills, a lot of people call them too.
Yeah,
and they're
that's
treasury
the government
bonds.
ones. Yeah, I was just talking about corporate bonds.
Right. So the interest rate we're talking about, the number we're talking about, is accredited to the T-bonds, the treasury bonds, which are government bonds. They're supposed to be considered one of the least riskiest assets out in the market.
On the planet.
Yeah. I don't like them because they're kind of boring. I feel like the stock market can outdo 1.73% a year, if that's what it is. Someone contact us if it's the whole 10 years or per year.
I know for a fact it's per year.
Is it per year?
It's per year. It's the yearly payout.
Okay.
Over the course of 10 years. Now, one of the fun facts about the 10-year is that also pretty much is what dictates your mortgage rate. Because banks always compare, can I lend this person money and make more money than I can if I just put it in treasury bonds? So that's kind of what that is the foundation of your mortgage payment.
So when more people buy into that interest rate, the interest rate will go down.
Correct. When demand goes up, interest rate goes down. But the bond price is going up.
Right.
It's just like a dividend. If your dividend or if your stock is going up and you continue to purchase more shares, you're getting less yield on your dividend compared to when the stock crashes and you're able to get more yield on your dividend. It's the same exact kind of thing.
Same thing.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I like that little brush over bonds we did right there. That was a little nice. And as a refresher, if nobody really gets the true difference, you got to remember a bond is a instrument of debt, while stocks are instruments of equity. So basically, you're either loaning the money or you're owning the company. So that was a nice little brush over.
So I'm looking up the 2-year yield right now. I'm going to bring that up right now. Is this it? Anyways, I bring the 2-year up. Or is it the 5-year or the 2-year that the 10-year is supposed to cross? It's the 10-year and the 2.
10 and the 2.
Which are like, they were awfully close. Oh, the 2-year sank as well. That son of a bitch. I thought it would be like this cataclysmic 5% year on the 2-year, and stock markets would be crazy.
Oh no!
Could you imagine? You couldn't imagine because it's not possible.
You got 5% on a treasury bond in 2 years.
I'd fucking put all of my money there.
I mean, if I'm like I mentioned earlier, I'm not really too fond of that market. I'm not too experienced with it, but I'm sure if you went back to 2008, that's exactly what happened.
A low rate means there's a lot of buyers.
Yeah, a low rate
in the bond market.
It sparks money coming into the system.
I want to watch.
Like the low
so I want
to.
So I'm watching. So like we said, the 2-year and the 10-year, we're watching those. When they cross, it's supposed to be a signal for recession. Recession. We're gonna have to start a metal band called Recession. Recession.
That's a pretty good name, to be honest.
Thank you.
It's a pretty good metal name.
Thank you.
Anyway, let's get rolling into what the fuck happened Monday and today.
Whoa.
Let's talk about it a little bit.
Let's talk about it.
So yesterday, at one point we sold off 900 points on the Dow.
Dude,
Remember I said don't wake me up unless it's more than 7? Well, here we go.
I was texting you guys at 2%. I was like, yeah. I was like, hey guys, 2%.
You got close to 4%.
And I was like, hey, we're at 3%, boys. Let's go. And then it was like 3.8 and 3.9. I was like, what is happening?
That was wild.
That was fun to watch.
Unless you really follow the markets, most people probably don't get what happened.
Oh, yeah. That's like some market news with Nate.
Some market news with Nate. So let's start to dive into what happened and how we can use this information looking forward.
Okay, I guess like from the top of my memory, what's coming up of why this all started, and I'm sure there's something more that I can't really think of right now.
Well, I can tackle this one because I got a pretty deep.
No. There was tariff talks for a bit, and then Trump Daddy 45 slapped a 10% increase take effect in September.
Yeah.
In response, the Chinese sold off a bunch of their wands or bought a bunch of their wands. So 45 accuses them of, President Trump accuses them of price manipulation.
Currency manipulation.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, here's a fun fact I found out. So, if you go into the Forex market, so foreign exchange, the currency market, it's the largest market on the planet. Okay, much bigger than the stock market, the bond market, the commodity market. This is how money moves across oceans and borders. The open Forex market determines the price of most central bank currencies out there. Like you can trade the dollar to the Mexican peso, you can trade the euro to the Swiss franc, vice versa. You can do the New Zealand kiwi, they call it, to the Japanese yen.
Awesome.
There's so many currency pairs that you can trade, and the open market dictates what that price is going to trade at, much like a stock or whatever. Although China actually dictates what price they will trade the other currencies for. So for the latter part of a few decades, I think 1 decade or 2 decades, China has always traded 7-to-1 on the U.S. dollar. $1 gets 7 yuan. Well, all of a sudden, they decided that $1 gets 7.05 yuan. So on the grand big scale, that extra 0.05 is supposed to be a counterattack to Trump's tariffs.
Insanity.
So they devalue their currency to make things cheaper to counteract the tariffs. So originally, Trump's plan was to say, let's put tariffs on there to stop Chinese spending. And China said, well, if you want to stop Chinese spending, we'll just make things cheaper. So that was exactly what that was. So that was why Trump got pissed, calling them currency manipulators. I mean, in a sense they were, but wasn't he the one begging for lower interest rates this whole time? Manipulate our currency to push his political agenda and his habits.
I mean, but it's been like unfair trade from China for a while.
Well, of course, but is that not hypocritical?
I mean, I don't know. If you're gonna put up a fight, I feel like you gotta put up a fight.
Excuse me. Sorry. I'm allergic to this.
So what's the response now?
Well, that's the big question, Nathan.
Bye market.
I mean, it seemed like a good day today, but is it a dead cat bounce? Is it one of those?
Certainly a bounce. I'm hoping for like
$300 or 300-point swing on the Dow is nothing to like just shake your head at. It's something you got to pay attention to, especially after a 900-point sell-off. I don't know what happens next, man. I don't know what happens next.
So the stock market is still showing good signs of earnings, like strong earnings.
Oh yeah.
So I think it might could be due for a big correction. I don't know if it's recession time, man. Like recession is economy, right?
Well, yeah, recession's not in gross domestic product, of course, GDP. But yeah, companies seem to be hanging in there, right?
Right. Yeah.
We've had pretty strong earnings all across the board. Speaking of which, Disney did not post good ones after we expected, with all the Marvel shit that just came out. This was their first report that had all the box office records, and apparently they were killed by Fox Film networks, actually starting to slump on them.
What? What came out of Fox Films?
I don't fucking know, dude. That's the problem. No, it was a very expensive acquisition. It's a very big bet. They just wanted to scoop up the rest of the Marvel universe for that. But
How much is Disney trading at after hours?
last I saw it was at 134 after sitting up at 143.
136.
So what's a good move to make for the time being? In Nathan's eyes, remember, this is all subjective. This is your opinion, your strategy. There's no right, no wrong. But what do you think? Like, what do you expect moving forward into tomorrow and the rest of the week? Do we prepare for another huge sell-off and another Trump tweet? Like, do we get ready to ride this rocket of volatility? Or are we going to smooth out and this will just be all behind us, because in the end it's about the earnings and the numbers, which America is doing good on. So what do you think it is?
I have no fucking idea, dude. I have no idea.
Don't you wish you knew? I mean, no one knows.
Because I know they're talking about it right now, and there's so much to talk about in the White House right now.
Oh yeah, so many pressing
what I mean?
issues. And is this really at the top of his list?
No, he's going to El Paso, and he's coming, I think, tomorrow to go pay respects for the shooting victims, which will be interesting. It'll be very interesting. But I think buckle up for a bumpy ride. Regardless.
That's what I'm thinking.
Regardless.
I don't think this is going to be what pushes us into any huge drastic correction or sell-off or even a bear market.
Something's brewing.
I would expect some volatility, some several 100-point swings here and there. I wouldn't be surprised.
Something's brewing in Steve Mnuchin's mind.
Treasury Sec.
Yeah.
What does he even do?
I don't know, but he's there during a lot of like monetary policy speeches.
Yeah, but he's not the one who gets to dictate quantitative easing, and basically, if he
gets to suggest it though, like
does he write the? Does he hold the checkbook for the United States? Is that the best way to put his job?
The treasurer of a club?
Yeah, do you think that's what Secretary of the Treasury?
Has to be, dude. I mean, like that's got to be like part of. Dude, I'm sure there's
how are we gonna fund this war kind of thing?
I can look it up. I don't know. I've never like thought about it.
It's just weird because neither have I. Because, growing up, you think, like, oh, the Treasury, that's where they print the money, and that's where they're in charge of all the stuff, and blah, 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 blah. But no, it's not. It's the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve holds all the gold. Federal Reserve prints all the money. Federal Reserve makes all the decisions. It's got nothing to do with the Treasury. They act without the Treasury's permission and their interests in mind.
Mnuchin. I wish there was an A between the M and the N.
Mnuchin.
Mnuchin.
Mnuchin
on that Steve Mnuchin. Alright, let's see. Principal economic advisor to the president. Plays a critical role, policy making and bringing economic and government financial policy perspectives to issues facing the government. Tax policy, it's all I'm seeing is policy.
Well, isn't the IRS under the Treasury?
Here we go. The secretary oversees. Fuck the IRS. I'm just gonna say that.
Sure.
Like I'm paying my taxes, but like fuck the IRS.
Yeah, fuck them.
The secretary oversees the activities of the department in carrying out its major law enforcement responsibilities. Are you guys taking notes? Because there's gonna be a quiz at the end of the episode. In serving as the financial agent for the United States government. I fucked that sentence up. And in manufacturing coins and currency. There you go. So the mint.
Interesting. I
Here
don't
we
trust
go.
him.
Chairman of the boards and managing trustee of the Social Security and Medicaid trust funds, and as the U.S. governor of the International Monetary Fund. Okay, that's expected. Like the representative to the IMF.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the rep to the International Bank for you're the representative for monetary stuff. That's what it says.
Flies around, talks about money. Must be great. Sounds
okay,
like, I don't think he's important. I think we can cut him.
He's
I think
very
we can do without
important.
him.
Oh, the salary is $200K. That's like.
I guarantee you his net worth is north of $10 million. Fucking guarantee it. He's probably like a lawyer for 36 years, a financial lawyer.
Oh, the secretary along with the treasurer. Oh, there's a treasurer and a secretary. Oh, what the fuck?
I don't trust him.
I don't trust him. I don't know nothing. That's probably why I don't trust him, because I don't know enough about him.
That's so bureaucratic, dude. Like, there's just departments within departments within departments.
Alexander
It's like
Hamilton.
that scene in Harry Potter where they go to the Ministry of Magic. There's just departments and departments and elevators that just fly past thousands of millions of doors behind other doors. That's exactly what I fucking think of.
Isn't it true that no Department of Secretary Treasurer, or what is it? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I was looking at it just now. Secretary of the Treasury. Style, Mr. Secretary. That's awesome. He was telling a congressional hearing that he had to leave the hearing to go meet with other foreign what do you call them? Monetary policy advisors. He was saying, "Are you saying I cannot leave to go to my prior engagement?" And they're like, "No, you have to stay and answer these questions."
He made him testify.
I mean, yeah,
This just sounds so sketchy. Just Mnuchin sounds sketchy. Sounds like a sketchy motherfucker. I don't trust them. I don't trust the federal government, man, in any way, shape, or form.
Well, they don't trust you.
Good. They shouldn't. I'm a sketchy motherfucker in their eyes.
Hello.
Whew, that was a good one. So,
correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any Secretary of Treasury has been president.
I think that is true. Although we have it didn't one of them kill someone on the front lawn of the White House?
What the fuck?
Wasn't that Hamilton? Didn't he kill somebody?
Andrew Barr.
Yeah. Wasn't he a treasurer secretary?
Did he kill somebody? I don't know.
Someone killed someone. Was it Andrew Burr? Someone killed someone on the front of the White House lawn. Just straight up went out there and shot a motherfucker. But they were in a duel.
Can't do that today.
No. Could you imagine Could you fucking imagine if
the line outside the White House for duels?
Who was the
insanity?
What? Oh man, what was the guy?
Hamilton wasn't
the attorney. Who was it?
Hamilton wasn't a president.
What was his name? The attorney that everybody hated. Said
Adams?
smoking pot is good people don't smoke pot.
I have no idea.
He just left Trump and he was super conservative.
The secretary?
Who? Attorney General.
What
was his name?
The senator.
Bannon?
The senator.
Not Bannon.
Senator. Oh my God! Why is it leaving me? Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Bye, Jeff. See you later, Jeff.
What if Jeff Sessions and Trump had a duel? You motherfucker, you meet me in front of the lawn in Pennsylvania Avenue, and we're gonna settle this the gentleman's way.
I think Trump would win. One of us is
gonna shoot someone.
I think Trump would win.
He would have a sniper on the roof. Get him before I turn. Just get him before we turn. Just cap him when he's walking. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Nah. That's funny. I couldn't.
Man.
I don't know. I just couldn't imagine. People would stand around and watch duels. That's what's crazy about
invited
it.
To it.
That comes from like archaic shit in like in Rome, like with like gladiators and stuff.
I mean, if we
People
had
went
public
to go-
executions, would you go?
No, dude. I don't know, dude. No.
I don't think I would go.
I just straight up no. I'll just say it.
They do that in Saudi Arabia.
I'll hold
you
that.
gotta go.
I have to go. Like
They make you do that. Like, oh yeah, this guy slept with another dude. So I gotta go watch him. Gotta go watch him drown.
what's the?
Well, that was some good market talk.
Yeah.
We're kind of closing towards the end here.
Secretary of the Treasury. God bless. What did you want to talk about today, man?
I mean, I think we hit it. I mean,
Yeah.
my biggest point was just
Buy market buy.
the swings that we have, and I
did you
honestly
play
think that
the
we're gonna see
market at all?
volatility too.
Did you play the market at all during this volatility this past week?
Oh yeah. Yesterday I shorted the Dow midday, and I was doing all right on it. And last night,
Dude.
okay, so I have a 255 put.
Okay.
And last
Okay. Wait.
night,
Slow
when I
down.
was
Slow
laying
down.
in bed
You have a
at 9:30.
$255 put, which you're betting. I'm sorry. You're assuming the market will go down.
Yeah, I was assuming it's gonna go further down.
What was the price when you bought it?
Well, it was a credit spread or a
Okay.
debit spread.
What did you spread the price? Just not to get too complicated.
My total cost was $41, 41 cents.
What was the
per
strike
share,
price?
100
God
times.
damn it! What was the strike price?
I bought the
Strike price. Damn it, Jason.
256 and sold the 255.
255 and 256. So what was the price when you bought it?
41.
241. So you bought like super in the money.
0.41. It was in the money at the time.
Yeah, it was in the money at the time.
So, and then we slipped down to a little bit into like 255.70, right? Slipped down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Market closed. Well, futures continue to sell off.
Yes. Okay.
tomorrow.
Yes. They started tanking, dude. There was like
Yes.
300-400 after
Yes,
hours.
we got down to the DIA ETF got down to 251.
Insanity.
So meaning I was $400 in the money. I mean, my credit spread would have cut that off, but it would turn my $41 into 100, and that's my max profit. So I would have hit my max profit overnight, but then this rebound put me out of the money. But I'm still holding pretty decent value. I'm still holding $33 against my 41, so I'm down a little bit on it. But I'm going to continue to hold it as insurance because, like we talked about earlier, I think we're going to see more of a sell-off.
Well, I'm betting against you because I bought some. So I let the market sink on Monday. Just let it bleed. And then towards the end of the day, and on the last 10 minutes, lovely, I bought a put debit spread. So the same thing you did, except I bought it on UVXY, the 1.5 leveraged VIX. I expected more from the VIX, but I guess like seeing that I didn't expect, or seeing that more didn't come out of it, I guess that means there might be a bigger drop tomorrow.
I don't know what to expect. I really wish I had that crystal ball. I don't know. At the end of the day, the goal is to be there before Wall Street is there, because by the time it happens, you're already too late. You missed the movement. So
That's like any
I don't
market.
think it's a bad idea to get some sort of insurance in some way, shape, or form, just for the near term, maybe through mid-September, about a month out. I don't think that
these
this
are like super short-term plays. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, we're not going long. My contract expires end of week, Normally we talk about not doing short-term contracts, but sometimes, like I said, it's just about a little insurance. I'll spend $41 to make sure I'm not losing a few hundred. It's okay. That is all right with me. And if it does go down, I profit off of my short position. I will roll those profits into one of my core holdings that's down. Average it down. It all works out, baby. So, that being said, what you watching for the rest of the week? Anything in partic?
Why don't you go first?
Okay. We talked about this earlier offline, actually during market hours. I am watching Host Hotels and Resorts, one of my favorites, baby, HST. She sold off heavily over the past few months, really. And it's really because of market sentiment. Markets aren't really bullish on the hotel space at this time. And it's a REIT, so it's not going to grow. It's not going to run up like a motherfucker on you. But it does pay that solid 4.5% dividend right now. And it's sold off all the way from the high 19s. It actually got almost close to $21 near its highs. But sold off from the 19s, and it's down into the mid 60s. She released earnings today, and she missed on revenue, missed on earnings. But I have a straddle option that I actually opened on her, because I think that she's very oversold. So I was seeing if we are set for a little bit further of a sell-off because the market sentiment will be right at the end of the day, or if we're going to finally rebound, I'm going to capture some of that upside. So I put a straddle on it, meaning I have a put and a call at the $17 strike price. And I'll be watching HST to see what happens. Like I said, I think she's oversold, so I'm looking hopefully for a bounce up. But I do have the put, so I just need her to move away from 17.
Well, fuck you. I hope it goes the other way.
Well, thank you. I hope it goes sideways. Fuck you.
Yeah. I also bought a naked put. I sold mine for a profit. My contract for a profit, a point and a profit. It was a good 20%, which is nice. That's good. Hell yeah, Nate.
20%.
20%.
We'll take it. And that was on your
UVXY
your
debit.
mix.
Yeah. I'm just kind of combating what you said. I'm just kind of bouncing off before I say what I want or say what my stock that I'm watching is. I also bought a naked put on top of that just to kind of roll with it. It was cheap. It's doing well. What I'm watching? I'm watching chip stocks, man, like AMD and like Intel, Nvidia. I want to see. I'm not like saying long. I want to see like because it's gonna like be like real kind of shaky with this trade war, like especially like technology stocks in general.
Yeah, especially with the trade war. That's going to be your biggest catalyst in that department for sure.
What? Yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe short the volatility.
So would you be bullish on chips at this point, or would you
No.
be bearish, or
No.
you think that they're going to be the movers?
I would find if you're gonna do anything, find a value chip maker that pays a dividend if you're gonna hold it for a bit, and then average in on it for a bit. Because like things like AMD right now, it's cheap. It's $28 now. It went down a bit from it's like 34. AMD doesn't pay a dividend.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
I like it for the growth perspective, but not right now.
Is that your favorite of the chip stocks?
Yes, you know why?
Why?
Cryptocurrencies.
They do have a foothold in cryptocurrencies, but so does Nvidia. They actually do some mining.
Yeah.
They actually have a mining department. I think it makes almost no revenue for them, but they've got exposure to it.
Do you think? I don't know. I just feel like AMD's earnings has so much room to grow. But I think they're going to get hit by
As technology improves, I feel like we're only going to need more newer, better chips.
Yeah.
And AMD's been around for a while.
There's a woman leading that company. Strong woman.
No, short it. Short.
Oh my goodness, no long.
I'm just kidding.
Go hella long.
No, I had an uncle that worked in the chip industry for many years in his life, and he said that AMD was around in the early 90s, and that was one that he should have got in on as a worker. He worked for Intel for a while in their chip department. I don't know exactly what he did, but he did say that AMD is one of the finest of the chip makers out there. I'll take his word for it.
Sure.
Take everything with a grain of salt, but...
Who is this?
This is my uncle.
What's his name?
His name is Bill.
Hey, Uncle Bill.
Uncle Bill. He's a professor out in Wyoming for economics now. Maybe we could have him on sometime.
Yeah.
If you want to talk monetary
policy
policy and currencies and supply and demand, and you really want to get into some shit, he'd be fun to have on. Good. I think he'll be around for Christmas. He'll be staying at the house for the holidays. Maybe we could get him on.
Christmas.
Have a couple beers. He's
we
fun.
Get some special guests coming up on the show.
Okay.
Coming up soon.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get Justin on the show again. Everybody liked that episode.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a fun one. I went back and listened to it again, and we did have some good flowing conversation. And I'm hoping we can have more guests on in the future. And that goes for you guys, too. If you want to be a guest, or you know somebody who wants to be a guest, or, you want to ask a question, whatever, just hit us up. Rebel Trading Group with 2 Gs. That's Rebel Trading Group with 2 Gs at gmail.com. We're always looking to have guests, and I like to get many different perspectives. What do you trade? Why? What don't you like to do? What kind of trader are you? I want to know who you are, because we're all in this game together. We all want the same goals.
Socialist on the show.
A socialist. A socialist investor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that exists.
It has to. There's got to be a club out there.
All right. Well, what do you say we
we'll look
wrap
out
this
for
one up? You want to wrap this one up?
Yeah, man.
Wrap it up. You want to wrap it up?
Let's do it.
You want to wrap it up?
I'm going to wrap this one up.
All right. Well, that's an episode. Like I said, email us anytime. Rebel Trading Group with 2 Gs at gmail.com. We are on Soundcloud. We are on iTunes. We are on Stock Twits. And we are on YouTube, where we have a full archive of all of our videos for free for you forever. Full archive. That's youtube.com. Just look for the Rebel Trading Group podcast, baby.
Cast.
And I think that's 68. Watch the volatility out there, guys.
Oh, did I forget to say the episode?
No, yeah, I think you did it. I was just
episode
saying again.
68.
I'm just wrapping it up. That's 68, baby.
All right.
Well, have fun, Nathan.
See you, man.
Keep your eyes peeled out there. Maybe we can do this. Maybe Friday. I don't know. We'll see. If the markets are good, if it's worth it, we'll see. We'll try to get another one out. We'll figure it out.
We'll talk about it.
I like that we're back and we're staying in the routine of it.
We're back, baby. We'll be 100 by the end of the year.
100 end of the year? I'm there.
Possibly if we really want a week.
Yeah, we're going to have to crank them out.
Let's crank it.
All right, man. Well, have a good one. May all your candles be green.
Shut up and sit down.